ready?
Go ahead.
I guess if everyone will mute, unless we're talking, it might make it a little bit easier. So if Kevin is ready, we will call the meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you all for being here. And as you know, we will all be glad to get back to the boardroom. This is our second virtual meeting, and it works out well. And I hope you all are safe and your families are safe with quarantine and whatnot. So let's get started. And would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence, please.
Please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be seated, please. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Okay. Who's the first? Sorry. Who made the motion?
That was Vincent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Vincent. Motion by Mr. Vincent, second by Ms. Rozelle. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passed. We don't have any additions to the agenda or groups or petitions, I don't think. But anyway, does anyone have any additions to the agenda? If not, we'll move on. The next item is the consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove any item for discussion before we vote on it? If not, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Davison, a second by Ms. Laurie.
Yeah.
Is that who it was? Okay.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay. Second by Ms. McClurkin. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Aye. And those opposed, no. The motion passed. The next item is our Director of Instructional report, Dr. Bird.
Thank you, Mr. Marty. I just have a few things to share with you this evening. First of all, just to let you know that we have received a $30,000 grant from the USDA. It's called a Communities Facility Grant, and we will not be spending that grant money until the fall, but our plan for that $30,000 is to purchase additional laptops to use in the schools next year. So just wanted to make you aware of that. Also, to let you know, we've had some personnel changes that will be taking effect July 1. Ms. Farissa Richardson has been named the new elementary SPED supervisor, and she is taking Ann Burleson's place, who left at Christmas. And because she moved from Mumford Elementary to that new position, we had to get a new principal at Mumford Elementary. So that person will be Dr. Faircoat. Dr. Cope is currently one of the assistant principals at Austin P. So we're excited about that. A third change that I wanted to let you know about, Mr. Jay Jennings, who is one of the assistant principals at Brighton Middle School, will be retiring at the end of the year. And Kevin Bird, who is a teacher at Brighton Middle School, will be taking his place. So those are just some changes I wanted to let you know about. You may have already known about those, but if not, I certainly wanted to let you know about it. And then the third thing that I had real quickly is, as far as personnel, next week, Ms. Bennett will be emailing the employee exit survey to our teachers who are not returning to Tipton County Schools next year. And once those survey results start coming back, I will share that data with you. Hopefully next month I'll have a report in your packets to share with you. And Mr. Chairman, that's all I have unless someone has a question.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Dr. Bird? Okay, thank you, Dr. Bird. Go ahead, Mr. Vincent. Go
No,
ahead.
I was kidding, Dr. Bird.
I have one question, Dr. Bird.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent.
I have one
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davidson has a question.
What is the main reason for the resignation of our teachers?
Well, until we get the exit survey results, Mr. Davidson, I don't really know offhand. But one of the questions on the survey that we emailed in ask what their reason is for leaving. And for some, it's retirement. For others, it could be relocating to another area. But I'll be able to give you that information hopefully next month. But it just depends on how many of them respond to the survey. We send those out electronically and they respond online. So hopefully we'll get a good response rate. But I'm happy to share that information with you next month.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other questions for Dr. Bird? Thank you, Dr. Bird.
Yes, sir.
Next item is Director of Operations report. Dr. Fisher.
Yes, good evening. I just have
Good evening.
two things I wanted to update you on. With food service, we have served 25,378 meals this week. That's an average of 6,344 meals per day. And so the buses driving through the neighborhoods has really been effective. So we're really excited about that. But that was 25,378 meals that we have served in 4 days this week. Our maintenance staff is working on their capital improvement plans for the 1920 school years. The outdoor lighting upgrades have been completed at Brighton High School, and then we've also ordered additional lights. They have arrived, so we should be completing the rest of the outdoor lighting at the other schools soon. So hopefully we will be able to see some energy savings in that as well. And that's really all I have at this time.
Okay.
Dr. Fisher,
Yes, sir.
can you give me an update on the CHS field house, how that's going with the concession stand and field house renovation?
I'm sure Dr. Combs would want to do that.
Yes, sir, Mr. Steve. So they started breaking ground today, actually, or yesterday. They scraped off the topsoil, and today Tim Lyles was out there on the backhoe moving it around. We're trying to dry the dirt out a little bit, and then the next step is we've got somebody coming to do the footing, and then the rough end plumbing, or the rough end plumbing and the footing, and then I mean we're doing it one step at a time. We're getting somebody different for every phase of it. We've also, the air conditioning in the locker room is done. That part went in there. Coach Kirby actually helped us get that. You know, we talked to him and conferred with him on where he wanted it. And so that's in there now. And so we're ready for that. I'm sure as soon as we're able to get back in the locker room, I'm sure they will appreciate that. But it looks like we're moving forward. If you go by Covington High, you will actually see dirt in the spot where the field house is going to be. So according to how it's been going, we're kind of proud of that.
I am too. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I have one question, Dr. Fisher. If school is open in August, has there been any talk or any discussion, consideration how we plan to transport our children?
We have not had any guidance on any of that. Dr. Combs, Dr. Bird, and myself, we began talking a little bit about that today, but there's not been any guidance to my knowledge for school opening in August. Nothing at this time. Am I correct on that, Dr. Combs?
That's correct. We have not received any guidance from the State Department on anything regarding opening up. We're playing everything just like it would be a normal school year, and then waiting to hear from them if we have to back up on those plans a little bit. But for right now, we have not received any guidance at all to do anything differently than we would normally do to start the next school year.
Okay.
Okay.
But we are currently going through right now, we're cleaning and the bus, we're getting our buses ready for inspection as we normally would. That's what the bus shop is working on as we speak. So they are preparing the buses as we normally would.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Fisher, I have a question. Well, two. I've had parents ask me about SACC and the lunch program this summer, a food program this summer.
Okay, the with the food program, we have submitted our application for summer feeding, and we are waiting to hear back from our application on that. Currently, we are driving through the neighborhoods and we have submitted that as a proposal for our summer program if we continue as it is. The USDA will have to guide us on what our stipulations will be for the program for the summer.
Okay.
So we're waiting on that. School-age childcare, we have not received any. We have received guidance, childcare guidance, in terms of what the CDC has recommended, but we have not received and made any decisions yet in terms of our next steps for school-age childcare for the summer. The guidelines that they have in place, we've looked at those. We have Williamson County. They run a school-age childcare very similar to ours. They have sent their guidelines to us for us to look at. There are a lot of different stipulations there, so we'll have to make some decisions about that. But Dr. Combs and I have not made any decisions as of now on that one.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Dr. Combs may want to follow up on that.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Dr. Combs a quick question.
Oh, yes, sir.
Would you make a note, please, that when that facility is finished in Covington, I'm expecting a big old honking ribbon cutting ceremony, and I'd like Mr. Clark to participate in that, please.
I'll try to find some big scissors. We'll take care of that.
There you go.
That thing started in, what, 2015? It's been a long time coming, so, yes, sir.
Are there any other questions for Dr. Fisher? Thank you, Dr. Fisher.
You're welcome.
The next is the financial report. Ms. Peggy Murdoch.
I hope you can hear me. I've got a couple of things before our new budget to share with you. The state of Tennessee provides a 457 plan. We currently are active in the 401k plan, but in order for our teachers to be able to save with a 457, you all have to just adopt that state plan. It's just a straightforward plan that the state has, but in order for us to allow our employees to participate, we just, as a board, have to adopt that as a plan. So I would need you to do that.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adopt the state plan as presented by Ms. Murdoch?
I'll make a motion if we adopt the plan.
Second.
A motion. We have a motion by Mr. Joyner. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davidson. Was that Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it affect
by
current
Mr.
plan?
Joyner, a second by Mr. Davidson.
Does it affect what, Mr. Fisher?
Current plans?
Anyone that works for us is able to participate, but for some reason the board has to adopt the plan in order for them to join. So it was suggested that we try to take care of that as soon as possible, just because we want to have an after-tax savings plan.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So this is in addition to their regular retirement?
Yes, sir. This is just an option with the State Department. They started having, with the hybrid plan, they started a 401k. They got this after-tax plan. That's the 457. So if we adopt that, then we can add that to our options for people to have as deductions.
Are there any other questions for about the plan? If not, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, no. The motion passed.
I have one other thing that we need to adopt. American Fidelity is our Section 125, our pre-tax provider, our cafeteria plan, if you will. And they have sent us an addendum to our current plan that brings into play all of the options that the COVID-19 has provided in their plan, mainly with the HSA plans that they can have access to COVID testing for free, options that need to be adopted as well. So it takes care of those people who have medical reimbursement as well as an HSA. And as soon as we adopt it, then those people are able to apply those COVID-19 options to their plan. So I just need you to adopt that as well.
Do we have a motion to adopt this plan as presented by Ms. Murdoch?
I'll make that motion.
Motion
Second.
by Mr. Clark. Second by
I'll
Mr.
second.
Benson. Discussion. Anybody have any questions? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, no. Motion passed.
All right, thank you. And then the last thing that we have, Dr. Combs got a message from UTrust today. That is the group that takes care of unemployment. We pay them a lump sum, and then as the unemployment claims come in, UTrust takes care of paying those on our behalf. In addition, they give us some, almost like a rebate, a little mini grant that we've used for multiple years to provide some extra technology options. So they are trying to get in front of this unemployment issue and changing a little bit of their verbiage in our plan. And Dr. Combs just wanted you to be aware of how they're going to work this plan. Initially, UTrust is going to pay the unemployment claims. There will be many more than we've had before because of our SACC claims. And so I've been wondering what was going to happen with all of this extra unemployment, but UTrust is going to continue to act as they are and level our payments to the state across a 4.5-year benchmark. So we will not have to pay any overages unless they exceed $10,000 or five-year benchmark that they've set. That's 5 times the normal cost of any claims that we have had. So I don't think we'll get to that option, but this year we only had to collect $35 per person for unemployment. So every single person had to pay $35. We paid for them. So we'll wait for UTrust to send us that amount. Several years ago, it was as high as $69,000. We've not had very many unemployment claims. Consequently, it has continued to go down, but I have no idea what this pandemic will do to that. But UTrust is aware of the concern and is trying to get out in front of it. But we have to sign, Dr. Combs has to sign a new agreement with them. And we just wanted you to be aware that there may be some extra dollars that have to be spent for unemployment, because that's all employer benefit. It has nothing to do with the employees don't pay any of that. So we're really making you aware that Dr. Combs is going to sign that agreement. Be under the
Okay. Okay. So anyway, we won't need a motion on that, will we?
I don't.
Or will we?
I don't think so. We have
I
done
don't think so.
years, so I don't think it's nothing new. They're just trying to help us out by
Right.
not giving us the full brunt of what's going to happen with the unemployment.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for updating us on that.
Yes, sir. So I'm ready for the new budget.
Okay.
So try to go in groupings. You can look at your revenue first. We have left our revenue exactly as it was last year as far as our local taxes. I talked to WT today, and he didn't have any changes on any of this at this point. He's hopeful that it won't be as terrible as we expect, but we just have to hope for the best and see what those local option sales tax is probably the thing that we're most concerned about. There's also a reassessment going on this year on property taxes. So we'll have to see what that does as far as our property tax. But we are only lacking about $60,000 of our of our property taxes to collect for this year. So we've been very, very excited about, we've collected a little bit more than $11 million worth of property tax for the school system. So that's very, very important. The revenues, as you can see, if you'll look at our BPP dollars, you can see on the second page up at the top, our basic education program has been decreased by $481,000. So we're going to have to do some tightening to try to make sure that our budget will come in evenly, but that $481,000 is a shortfall. So our revenues that we're expecting for the year, $83,439,000 is what we're hoping to collect. That's on our revenue side. Then we'll start on the expenditures on our 7-1100, the instruction, regular instruction. We have a total of $41,782,400. And I'm just going to take these by groupings unless somebody wants line by line. Are we okay with the grouping?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Good. All right. So,
Yes.
and we did on our regular instruction, we lowered our teacher numbers by 6 in that grouping to try to paring down our expenditures. Then in the next grouping for the alternative school, we have $1,017,000. We have to replace a 120-day contract person with a full-time teacher. So there'll be a little bit of an expense, additional expense there, but not a lot. Then on the special education program, we're going to ask for $8,344,500, and that will support 79 special education teachers. Then on the next page for the vocational education, that is for 29 teachers and one 120-day contract person. And that's $2,591,000. Our adult education program, we're not 100% sure what we will get. Those numbers are exactly what our grant was last year. So as soon as Dr. Fisher hears some information about what we will receive on that, I can give you an update, but hopefully it'll be about the same amount of money that we had for this current year. Then on our health services, the 72-120 series, we're looking at $856,000 for the health services. Our other student support, which includes our guidance counselors, that total is $1,923,000. Then on our supervisor line, that's 72-210. That expenditure line is $2,068,000. Special education supervisor lines, that series is $649,600. And then the vocational supervisor line is $96,000. On the technology budget, we've had some changes in there, but the budget is equaling out to be about the same. Hopefully we'll be able to have some extra people that come in over the year to take care of some additional things that technology has in store. So that $914,000 is their same amount currently. The Board of Education, Your total is $962,500. There was a little increase in the audit services, which is why it went up a little bit from last year. The Office of the Superintendent, the same as was last year, $344,000. The Office of the Principal, total for that is $6,355,000. That's our principals, assistant principals, secretaries, bookkeepers, and attendance clerks are all in that grouping. Then in our Fiscal Services, $578,000 for that fiscal grouping. Plant operations, that's all of our janitorial staff, our electricity, natural gas, all of those utilities are in there. That's $4,247,000 for the plant operations. Then the maintenance of plant, that's all of our maintenance workers and the work that they do, $1,773,000. Pupil transportation, all of that grouping for our buses came to $6,066,000. Then the food services, that's 62% of Mr. Glass's advisor line, as well as his bookkeeper, and that's $180,000 in that series. For our FACC, we left it as it has always been. We don't know exactly what will come with that, but we're leaving it with the anticipation of it coming back online and being as it was this past year. This grouping also takes care of the 3 social workers that we pay every year. Then the $73,400 is our voluntary pre-K. The grant from the State Department doesn't cover everything that's in here. We have to add a little bit so that they'll be able to purchase some instructional supplies, be able to pay for substitutes and that sort of thing. So their total is $1,181,000 for total early childhood education. And then the capital outlay area is $233,000 for total estimated expenditures of $83,289,000. And then you see another debt service payment of $150,000, bringing our total to $83,439,000. That's for general 141 budget. Any questions on that?
I have a question, Ms. Peggy.
Okay.
Do you know how many total new positions were added as a result of this budget?
There were no new positions added.
No new positions added.
No, sir.
Okay.
Well, let me make sure that I'm answering you correctly. Dr. Combs and Melinda, y'all make sure I'm saying this correctly. We do not have any new positions. We've shuffled some people to reorganize the department. Like technology has been reorganized, but they don't have new positions. They have the same people that they had. They've just been reorganized. We have taken away 6 regular instruction positions and 2 special education positions. So we have not added anything, no, sir.
Okay.
Are you thinking of anything in particular?
No, just wondering.
All right, no, there are no additional positions. There are fewer positions this year than there were last year. Okay, are you ready for that?
Just one other question. I think it's on here somewhere. Wasn't there $1 million in here that was unspent from last year's budget? And didn't you say something about no?
There's $1 million in there that we got from the fund balance.
Yeah. Okay.
620,000 of that was for the bonus. Remember when we did the bonus, and the other 380,000 is where Dr. Fisher was referencing all the outside lights, the paving. Remember Dr. Combs's improvement plan?
Right.
380,000 and I've gotten some information from Barnett. I think he's going to be able to spend all of that before the year is out. That's his goal.
So didn't you say before that any money that we had that we would normally put in the fund balance that we were going to maintain and keep it on this budget so we could use it for whatever as it comes
We
in?
would like to, but let me tell you what our problem is, Mr. Vincent. I have no idea how much revenue we'll be able to collect. There are fewer expenditures as well, but there are going to be some cuts in our ability to gather our revenue. Now, if we get to the end or the middle of June and we see that the revenue has come in and we anticipate being able to spend some dollars, we can spend some dollars because the bulk of what we've left in our budget is even $7,100, where we could spend money for textbooks so that we don't have to pay that next year. The next year's budget for textbooks is much larger than this year's was. We're not showing it in the amendment in the new plan because we're hoping to get some dollars somewhere else. But I'm just trying to balance us out with what the BEP has given us. So, and I told Dr. Combs, we're going to have some amendments probably as soon as we see where our money is. But if we have extra money, we'll ask for more as far as our capital improvement is concerned. But I'm afraid to spend for fear we won't get the revenue.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I just don't know when those local option sales taxes will come, if they come. Remember, we're not collecting any money for SACC. Neither are we paying anybody, but we're not collecting money. So that revenue is short. So we have to try to balance all that, and not knowing where we're going to stand, I just don't want to spend too much.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Vincent, you know, our ultimate goal is not to roll much, just like you said, is not to roll much money into fund balance. So that has been our plan, but COVID-19 kind of has put a little bit of a crimp in that. So we're trying to stick with that plan, but just like Ms. Peggy said, we have some unknowns that we're trying to account for as well for this time anyway.
Right.
Okay.
That we received in revenue in April, if you'll remember, that's 2 months ago's revenue. That's not April's revenue. That's revenue from February. So we haven't seen the real cut yet, if we see one. So because we collect the taxes in a month, we send it to the state sends it the next month back to us, and we distribute it. So it's a 2-month lull. So in May, we will get March's revenue. So we'll be able to see about the tax rate and what we'll be able to get. So until we see that, I'm afraid to spend too much money.
All right, I just had one more quick question. I think I know the answer already, but now I know we don't have the money to give pay raises, but aren't you giving step increases?
We are giving step increases, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
We are.
All right, thank you.
Yes. And that's about $400,000 extra.
Right.
So it's a pretty good chunk of money. Anyway, so anybody else have any questions? All right, so federal budget. So we are expecting $5,812,145.65, which reminds me of something. Let me tell you all. Special education people were granted the option to get a technology grant. And so in our amended budget, we added $20,000, and the county allowed us to add it because they didn't address that budget until last night. So we added $20,000 to our special education budget in case they're able to collect that $20,000. So just to make you aware of that, the option of them getting $20,000 for technology for special education, which I hope that they do. So in their regular instruction lines, they have $1,289,558.95. In their special education series 171,200, their total is $2,055,885.91. Their vocational education series, $114,651.46. Health services, remember we moved those people to another category last year. So all they're going to have is money for other contracted services, $33,000. In other student support, they're spending $186,479.09. Their regular instruction program for supervisors, the total is $1,417,608.37. Their support services, $456,745.41. Their vocational support service, $3,441.29. The office of the principal that takes care of an assistant principal at the preschool, $47,840. The support services transportation, $96,384.65. There's nothing to report for our after school that Dr. Fisher takes care of. That grant hasn't come through yet. So our total estimated expenditures for federal is $701,594.13. And then they have indirect costs and transfers from one fund to the other in the total of $110,551.52 for their total estimated expenditures of $5,812,145.65. Any questions on that? All right. 143, the cafeteria budget. It's exactly the same budget as last year. Mr. Glass didn't see any changes that we made. We're not sure if we will equal our revenues and expenditures for his budget this year. We'll just have to wait and see where that money comes from. But their total estimated revenue is $5,750,000, and then all of their food service support is the same amount, $5,750,000. So we hope that they'll be able to take care of their revenues this year. All right, questions on the food service? All right. The capital projects 177 is everything Mr. Hall thinks it will be spent. We have $509,077 left in that fund. That's everything I've got.
Okay, Ms. Murdoch, are you gonna do the amended budget too?
No, sir, y'all have done that.
Okay, all right. All right, so you're ready to take this to the county commission for them to grant their wishes, right?
Yes, sir. I sent it to them because by law I have to have it there by May 1, but he knows you all are meeting tonight, and so they haven't touched the new budget yet. They just went over the amended budget last night, was it, Dr. Combs, or Tuesday, whatever, one night this week. And so they won't meet to approve the amended budget until next week. So they won't get to our new budget for another week or so, I wouldn't think.
Okay.
We'll approve it before it gets to them.
Okay, so we need to go ahead and make a motion tonight for this before we send it to them, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Are there any questions, any more questions about the budget for 2020 and 21? If not, do we have a motion to approve it as presented by Ms. Murdoch?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Vincent, by Mr. Farrell. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
A second by Mr. Joyner. Any other questions? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, no. So the budget passes, or the motion passed. Thank you, Ms. Murdoch.
Thank you.
Do we have any other business from anyone tonight?
Mr. Chairman, may I ask you, could I ask you a
Go
quick
ahead.
question?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody heard how Mr. Johnny Jones and his family are doing recently?
I haven't heard. Dr. Combs, have any y'all heard how the Jones family is doing?
I think Dr. Fisher may have an update. She told us a few extra things too. I think some of them went home today, didn't they, Dr. Fisher?
Yes, sir. Johnny and his wife Trina both went home today. They are at home.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Good.
and his mother and father are still in the hospital, so they're still asking for prayers for them, but they are at home.
All right.
That's good. We want to continue to remember that family, which has been hit hard, and we want to keep them in our daily prayers. Dr. Combs, would you like to add anything else?
Yes, sir. Just a couple things. I know Dr. Fisher mentioned this, but we have the lights outside at Brighton are done. So we're excited about maybe starting to see some savings on that before too long. And then they've already purchased a number of lights that they're going to start installing at the other buildings as well on the outside. So we're hoping to give Miss Peggy some more money in the budget with some savings, hopefully. And so that's been going well. The guys have been working really hard. Our maintenance crew's been working really hard during this time, and I want to give a little shout out to them because where most of us have been on kind of a staggered schedule, maintenance has come in every day. You know, they're already socially distanced, so they've been here every day, and they're working throughout the district, you know, trying to get some of these things done and spend this capital improvement money that Miss Peggy was talking about. They've been working really hard, so I want to make sure that I say something about them. Also, I know Kevin's on the call here, but he and Melissa and their team have worked really hard in technology. We have a number of teachers that are reaching out to their students. We have meetings like this, multiple other meetings that we're doing with faculty and supervisors and stuff. They've worked really hard on that. And just we've had a number of folks, our nurses, just a number of folks have worked really hard to get us to be able to do what we're doing right now. We're really, we're really kind of ahead of a lot of the other districts in what we're able to do right now, and we're just very appreciative of that. And it's because we have some really good people working, and they're really working hard on this. So I just want to throw those things out there. And I'm also going to give Miss Peggy a shout out because that budget's hard, y'all, especially this one. And she, I know has lost a lot of sleep over that one. So thank you, Miss Peggy. We appreciate
I'm
it.
afraid we're going to have to amend it as we go and see who is going. When we get money from the federal/state government, we know where we want to put it. We just hope that it will match up with what we've left us to spend in the budget. So
that's right. And the guidance they give us as to where we can spend it, I hope. So
right.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. That's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Well, I want to say I want to thank each one of you for hanging in there with the virtual meetings. And one of these days we'll be back to our boardroom. And I know this has been a challenge for everybody. And I know Dr. Combs and all the staff have worked diligently, and Miss Peggy to bring our budget to us on time. And I know the state has really thrown us a curve a time or two in our budget too. So we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. But if anyone else don't have anything else, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Davidson, Mr. Joyner. We stand adjourned.
All right.
Thank you all. Have a good
Good night.
weekend.
You too.
Night.
Good
Thanks
night.
for everything.
All right, all the ladies have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Absolutely.
And all the guys, treat your wives good.
Is
Wait a minute, let me
Mother's
go
Day-
get my husband. This weekend and be safe.
Okay, y'all be safe.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Yep, appreciate it, y'all.
Thanks, Kevin.